Hello, everybody. What's up? Map here from Singapore. Um, for those of you who don't know where Singapore is, we're near the equator, and we are this small little dot on the map. But I can assure you that our hearts are way bigger. So, yeah, it's my privilege to be able to start this YouTube channel and to be able to speak to you tonight. Now, I've been thinking about it for a long time. Actually, thought has crossed my mind starting this channel, but I've been procrastinating because of a lot of commitments, like work commitments, life commitments, etc. So finally, we are here doing it. And I just want to start by telling everybody that I'm starting this channel not because of hatred or because of a vendetta, wanting to flame anybody in particular, but the purpose is to actually give a source of comfort, probably a ray of hope for those who have none, and to share with the world in general what God has done for me and how He can do the same for you too. Now, many of us, we know we have different experiences in life. We may come from different backgrounds, social standing, stuff like that. But we worship one same God, actually. And yeah, I just want to share with all of you how wonderful He is, and He can be that for you too. So, yeah, I think at some point of time or another, we may have been hurt by a group of people, or we may be hurt by religion, we may have been hurt by a close friend, or betrayed by a group of people, whatever it is, we may have been hurt before, and that hurt has probably caused us to turn bitter, to be consumed by bitterness, anger, betrayal, and then we start to question, is there a God that cares? Is there a is there any good in this world? Start to become bleak, outlook of life. We may even hate or resent religion. We may even have a phobia of religion, so to speak. So, and we may even take it on God. We may be angry with God. It's normal. It's normal human reaction. Nothing to be ashamed of if you have ever felt that way. But I just want to tell you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and not all is not lost. So I was in a similar situation. I think I was in a very bad situation. But the true God delivered me out of it, and He has blessed me. He's protected me. He has taken care of me. He's not let me totally collapse. So I think it is only right if I share with you what He has done for me and how He can be that God for you. So, I mean, to be frank, I have seen many good vloggers online that they attack religion relentlessly. They tear down the religion totally online, and then there's a lot of followers saying that yeah, good thing, I'm out of that cult, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of negativity, and yeah, I don't want this channel to be like that. I want this channel to be a platform of love, of spiritual sharing, knowledge, okay, sharing experiences, coming out. The general feeling of it to be grateful, grateful that we are still here today. We are alive because of God's grace, because of His mercy and His loving kindness, and we share, just pass on the love and the hope to everybody. So that's my purpose for creating this channel, and of course to be a witness for the only true God, and to tell you if there's something wrong with what your religion is teaching, and then direct you back to His word. At the end of the day, I think that everybody should go back to Him, to the word. Okay, don't rely on what your pastor say or what your priest say, or what your imam says, or what basically your religious leader says. So we want to go back to the word, the pure, unadulterated word of God. And for many of you, it may be the Quran, it may be the Buddhist scriptures, it may be the Hindu scriptures, it may be the Christian scriptures, the Bible. So whatever it is, I just this is just a message of hope for everybody, regardless of race, language, or religion or background. Yeah. So I I'm very pleased to be able to share this with you. And yeah. So where do I begin? Okay, I'll begin by introducing myself. I basically was born in 1986 in KK Hospital. Um, Many of you in Singapore know where it is. That's where probably most of us came from. And I was born to a 19-year-old mother and a 21-year-old father. And at the time of birth, my mother was a housewife, and my father was working in a nightclub. So he was up and coming nightclub manager lah. I think probably at that time he was a captain or something. So it was pretty chaotic because my mom was inexperienced and she was young, and she had to take care of a screaming, crying baby in the form of me. I was a very insecure baby, very, very insecure baby because I was nearly aborted by my mother. It was an unwanted pregnancy, I think. So that is another story also. So yeah, basically that's my childhood, and then of course my parents separated and they divorced eventually when I was about 10 or 11 years old. Singapore terminology would say primary 4 or primary 5. Yeah. So I had my fair share of ups and downs, but through it all, I just want to tell all of you that yeah, God was with me throughout the whole thing. Praise be to Him, Yehovah. That's His name in Hebrew. And yeah, so I'll just start probably continue off from the part where my mom gave birth to me. So she was trying to pacify me, stop me from crying. I was like literally crying 24/7. I was a troubled kid. So I was told that by my mom when I was older that before I was born, when she found out she was with me, she was with child. That was when I was 2 months or 3 months old. I think about there. She was very scared. She was very afraid. She was wondering like, oh, will I be able to take care of the child? How will it be like? Stuff like that. Can I cope? And then on top of that, she was being harassed by demonic spirits at night. They would like pinch her, or they would like beat her or touch her, stuff like that when she was trying to sleep. So the demons had already made their move on me when I was in my mom's womb. So yeah, so they reached a point where she couldn't take it anymore. They would put thoughts into her like about the child, get rid of the child, kind of thing. So one fine day, my mother couldn't take it anymore. That's according to her lah, and she decided to abort me. So it was about like 8ish, 9 plus, 9 plus, 10 plus, that kind of timing. And she got dressed, got out of the house, locked the door. And the moment she locked the gate, there were two people that approached her at the door, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. So yeah, you can guess really, I'm a Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm from Jehovah's Witnesses for most part of my life, 22 years of my life. That's my ex-religion. So yeah, they asked her, hey, where are you going so late at night? And she said, I'm going to abort my kid. And they were like, no, don't abort your kid, because he's special. God has something for him in the future. He's special to God. Don't kill him. Do you want to hear about this God that we are trying to witness to you about, preach to you about? Then she was like stunned. But she didn't know what to say. So she said, okay, come in. And she changed her mind. She went inside the house. And so they started preaching to her about God and, kind of God he is and stuff like that. So, yeah, and just like that, I was saved. And the timing of it is too coincidental, I would say. So, I'm just amazed. And, from such a young age, really, we already see the supernatural element there. And there's a fighting between good and evil. And if you give up now, okay, you are taking away one less soldier from God's army. Because God has many servants throughout the world. Not just me, okay? There's many millions, billions of you, perhaps. that your hearts are for Him, whatever form you may have. So yeah, don't give up. Don't give up on Him. He, he's he's very wonderful. He's very powerful. Okay, there's no other God like Him. You and yeah, just continuing the story. So just like that, I was safe, and I'm very thankful for it because had He not done that, I won't be here. I won't be here sharing this with you. So praise be to Yehovah. Praise be to God. Praise be to Yahweh. Yeah. So my mother became a Jehovah's Witness. She studied the Bible for about, I think, 6 months to a year. I think somewhere around there. I'm not very familiar with the time, but she got baptized. She became a full-fledged Jehovah's Witness, and she raised me and my sister to be Jehovah's Witness. My father, of course, didn't buy the whole thing, and he chose to remain neutral, like just following his mother's religion, which is Buddhism. That was fine. Okay, so at a young age, really, we were indoctrinated. We were brought up in the ways of God, lah. But with a little flavor, with those Jehovah's Witnesses doctrine. So yeah. So at this point, I would just like to say that the stance that I'm taking, okay, even after leaving the faith for 10 years, is that I still believe in God. In fact, I've been even more closer to Him than I have been when I was in the faith. So I know there are many great vloggers, like Critical Thinker, exjw Critical Thinker, or Apostate Chick, or John Cedars and Kim and Mikey. I think they make fantastic videos. And there's even the exjw something, I can't remember, but I mostly watch John Cedars and Kim and Mikey. I think the general feel I get from them is that they are agnostic. Some of them are agnostic, some of them have become atheists. So I'm a little bit different in that I still believe in God, even though I've been hurt by Jehovah's Witnesses and been betrayed by them and swore by them. I still have a very close relationship with God. I still God. So I think this is something different from what you see online nowadays, and I hope that I can be able to make more videos for you. And yeah, I'll be sharing scriptures and stuff like that. Things I find encouraging, and maybe you can use it in your life. Maybe you can relate to it, and you can share something back on the comments. Or you can make another video in response to my video. That's perfectly fine. So yeah, don't lose the faith. Don't for once think that God has abandoned you. Don't think that He's not existent. Okay, take it as because you are special to God too. You have a purpose by Him. That's what Satan is attacking you. I mean, that's how I was told to take it. Anyway, so yeah, just want to say that I'm actually a servant of the God, the only true God still, servant of the Most High, and other than exposing the lies of Jehovah's Witnesses and other religions and religion as a whole, I would be encouraging the theme of my videos would be to encourage you to seek God. Don't lose your faith in Him. Draw close to Him. Find Him, and He will let Himself be found by you. Okay, that's a promise. So yeah, back to the story. So I was a young impressionable kid back then, and I was very needy emotionally, more needy than my sister. I was very clingy to my mother also. She couldn't stay out of my sight for more than a few seconds or few minutes before I start crying again and asking for her. So it was difficult on her. So it was understandable that eventually she cried. Yeah. And that was led to divorce. So when I was born, so before I was born, I already had a run with demons. So when I was born, I think I was barely about a year old, and they tried again. So according to my mom, she was making milk for me in the kitchen. Okay, and we stayed in those typical two-room flats. In Singapore last time, we didn't have money. Poor family lah. So we stayed in two-room flats, and one room was for my father and my mother, one room was for me and my sister. My sister wasn't born then yet, lah, but it was supposed to be a kid's room, it was understood. So she was making milk for me in the room, and then I was sleeping down there in the bed soundly, and suddenly the door slammed by itself and locked by itself. And then my mother was like very panicked. She ran to the door and she tried to unlock it with a key, but it was like as if there was an invisible hand at the other side clamping the lock, preventing it from opening. So she started panicking, like, oh no, what's going to happen to my kid? Are they going to harm him? What's going to happen? Oh no, no, stuff like that. So she called my uncles. My uncles weren't in the faith yet. They were still following my grandmother's religion, which is Buddhism. So my youngest uncle, and my oldest uncle rushed. Yeah, they rushed over to the house because we're staying nearby each other. Staying in Marine Terrace, they were staying in Parade lah. So they rushed over, okay, and tried to break down the door, but the door was like firm lah. So I don't know how true it is, but my mom told me my uncle managed to get an axe or something, or they got a hammer or an axe or a sledge from their house and they smashed the door down. Okay, because the door wasn't budging, so they smashed the door down. And when they smashed the door down, they literally created a crater in the door. They went inside. And when they went inside, they turned on the light. They saw that everything, okay, was overturned, messed up. And there was I sleeping soundly in the bed, okay, as if nothing had happened. So they were very worried for me. They were thinking, like, how come this young boy, why this young boy is being attacked by spirits at such a young age? It's unheard of. So when my mom told me the story, she mentioned to me also that the two Bible characters that face this trial, okay, they were Moses and Jesus. Moses was the leader of the Israelites, and Jesus was the Son of God, we know that. And Satan tried to do them in too when they were kids, when they were infants, before they were even born. No, Jesus was already born, so he tried to do them in already. So she concluded that God must have something specially planned for me, as the two witnesses that he used to save me told her. So I didn't think much of it because at the time when you were young, you don't really think of that. You just think about probably playing your favorite games, or your Batmobile. At the time I had a very nice Batmobile. I still remember. I really loved that Batmobile, but it's gone now. You just think of playing with your toys and just being a kid. You don't think so much about these things. But at a young age, okay, like probably 3 or 4 years old or 5 years old, my mom already taught me about God, and that his name was Jehovah. And I really appreciated what she did. Okay, she taught me and my sister about God, and God was very real to us when we were young. So moving forward after the attack, nothing much happened. But when I reached about 5 or 6 years old, I was in something we would call kindergarten, okay, K1 and K2. That is before you enter into school. We call it preschool at the time. Our version of preschool was K1 and K2. Okay, so I remember I was in K2 and I was bathing, and there was nobody in the house because my mom, I think she went downstairs to wait for me. She was at my grandmother's house. So I was bathing and soaking in my red bathtub, playing with my rubber duckies and stuff like that. And I was like playing away, enjoying the water, just doing what kids do. And I was supposed to be due in school later on. I was in the afternoon session. And it was say about lunchtime. And then suddenly I heard my grandmother call me. She called me in Cantonese. So the words that she used was Ham Gong. Okay, what Ham Gong means is that sour man. Okay, because when I was younger, still do, I used to have body odor. So that was a nickname my grandmother gave me. So she called me Ham Gong. And I was like, Popo, are you there? Grandma, Popo means grandma. Popo, are you there? And then there was no sound. So I got out of the bathtub. I ran out of the living room to check if my grandmother was there. There was nobody there. The door was locked. And I went into the rooms to see if my grandmother was there. No, there was nobody there. I freaked out. I took my key. Okay, I opened the lock. Okay, the lock was a low lock, so I could reach it. There's those kind of low padlock in the middle of the gate. I opened it and I ran out of the house, naked, stuck naked, dripping with water. I ran downstairs. I ran to the shop below where I used to go to buy sweets, pester my mother to buy sweets. I ran there and I started crying. So that was my first run into demons. Really consciously, I experienced them. And then after that, my mother came back home to bring me back from school, and she found me at the shop there, shivering and crying. So she brought me back, and she dressed me up, she dragged me, and she said, "What happened? Why you run downstairs? Why you cry?" So I said, "Mom, just now Papa's voice called me when I was baby." So she was like, "Oh, okay, it's the demons." I said, what are the demons? Ghosts? She said, "No, demons are evil spirits. They used to be angels, and then they rebelled against God. They were thrown down by God to earth, and then they will disturb God's servants." I was like, okay, how to avoid them, how to stop them. So my mom told me, whenever you get a demon attack, you call the name of God, and his name is Jehovah. I say, "Go away, Satan," in the name of Jehovah. I remember she taught me how to defend myself against these creatures when I was just a boy. Okay, I was just 5 or 6. So that was a pretty freaky experience. Okay, so after that, okay, they didn't come back much really. But when I was 7 years old, when I was in primary 1, that means I already graduated from preschool and I gone to normal school. I think in US we call it junior high or something. Yeah, or grade 1 to grade was it grade 1 to grade 6? I'm not sure about it. So before you go to high school, you go to junior high or something. So I was in junior high first year. And then I remember I used to bathe with my sister. We like to splash water at each other. And then we have this big tub that you play water, to bathe in the kitchen. So there was one night, I think it was late at night, 8 plus or 9 plus. And we just finished bathing. We ran out of the bathroom, kitchen naked. We ran all the way to the front door. And then we turned our bodies around. Boom. That's our usual bath time tradition. So when we did that, because we had full view of what was going on in the room, so there was a towel on the floor. What happened was a towel flew up from the floor and hung itself on the bed. We were staying in a double-decker bed, by the way. Sleeping in a double-decker bed. It was a bunk bed, so to speak. So it was pretty freaky, and we just stood there stunned, staring at the bed. Terrified. We were terrified. And my mother was like coming out of the room and saying, "Hey, what's with you guys? What are you all doing?" We just froze there. We just looked. We were lost for words. We were speechless, because this is the first time that we've seen such a thing, and we knew that it couldn't be human because there was nobody there. Okay, and the towel just flew up and hang by itself. So when my mother managed to break us out of the stupor, and we told her that the towel flew and hang itself on the bed, and she was like, "Oh dear." And she prayed with us, and she prayed with us. She called on God's name. She said, "Remember what I told you? Okay, pray to God. Shout out God's name next time." But at the time we were just too scared. So things like that, stuff like that. So after that, the attacks start to escalate. Okay, and I was in Ngee Primary School. Many friends there, and I was very popular among the kids. But there was one problem, because for Jehovah's Witnesses, we were taught not to say the pledge. Okay, during flag raising, we couldn't salute the flag. Okay, we couldn't sing the national anthem because it's deemed as idolatry. So at the time although I was very young, but I felt that it was logical. It made sense to me because you should only give your allegiance to God. You should only pledge to God. Even now that I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. I still think that that is a scripturally sound command to follow. So, as you probably guess, I didn't say the pledge at all when I was in school. So I was, so to speak, persecuted by the principal. He was just doing his job, looking in hindsight. So he made me stand on the stage in front of everybody, every flag raising. Okay, and they tried to force me to say the pledge also, but I refused. I fought. I ran away. And such was the indoctrination. But I guess that not all things that the JWs teach are bad. So those things that are scripturally sound, you can support it with scripture. I would say follow it. But those things that are vague, they are unclear, don't really follow it. Yeah, just think for yourself. Let the Bible guide your actions, or let your religious book guide your actions. Yeah, just do what God wants you to do. You can do no wrong. So, yeah, on top of that, I was facing this flag raising thing every morning, and yeah, I was facing this flag raising thing every morning, and I was facing more and more demon attacks in the house because my father had actually brought a charm back. He brought two talismans. One of them had the blood of the medium, and the other didn't have blood, but had a very ugly picture of God, a demon god or something, and there's a lot of scribbling on it. So he brought these two charms home for protection. I think it's given by my grandmother on my paternal side, my paternal grandmother. So what happened was these demons would fight, and when they fought, things will happen in the house, like things will start flying around the house. And yeah, my father will always be in a very foul mood, angry mood. He'll come home smashing things, like with red eyes and stuff like that. So my mother told me that he was possessed by the demons. That's what she told us. And there was one time when he came back home, he smashed a fish tank. We had a nice aquarium with lots of fish inside. He smashed it with his bare hands, and then he went to sleep. So my mother told me we have to find out why my father is behaving this way. And so we searched his wallet, searched his pants and everything when he was sleeping. And we found these two talismans. We decided that, okay, this is the cause of our problems. And so we burnt it. And that was my first experience burning the talismans. Yeah. And what I recall is that it took very long to burn. It took 3 to 4 hours to burn. Obviously because of some supernatural properties of the talisman. And the flame was green color. It's not normal yellow color flame. So we knew that that there was something living inside there, and we hoped that after we got rid of that thing, things will go back to normal. And it did for a period of time, but later something happened again. The neighbors, we were staying on the 6th floor, if I'm not wrong, 6th or 7th floor. The neighbors below started making problems for us because I was always crying. So one fine day when I was dressed to go for the meetings, okay, I was dressed up to go for the meetings, and then my mother was bringing me. I remember I was wearing a white shirt and blue pants. It's so cute, little kid wearing formal attire. Then we were on the way out already. We had got down from the lift. We were walking out of the block, and then suddenly a flood of water, okay, splashed onto me. And then when I realized that it was not just water, because it had a very horrible smell to it. It was yellowish brown. And I realized that she had dumped the neighbor had dumped a pail of feces, okay, shit and urine onto me. And all I could do at the point of time was to cry. So I cried and cried and cried and cried. When my father found out, he was so furious. He called his gangster friends to come down, and they had almost had a fight, involved the police and stuff. So it was then that my father decided, okay, that was it. There's too much problems from this neighbor. Maybe we nickname her Fussy. So yeah, so quite a lot of experiences living in Marine Terrace. Yeah, so my father decided, okay, that's enough. We have to move house, We have to pack our bags and we have to shift to another area where we'll be away from this psychotic neighbor. And so it was a very sad period for me because I was grown so attached to my friends in primary school in Nian. I had a lot of friends there. Just like that, yeah, my life was changed forever. I had to move house. And I remember I had a girlfriend when I was in primary school. Quite the playboy I was last time. So I was in primary one, and I had this girlfriend. Her name was Cha Xiaomi. And yeah, I liked her a lot, and she liked me a lot too. So we used to hang out at school. And then I remember sitting on a curb outside of the school, and then telling her the news that I would not be seeing her anymore, and we will keep in touch because I had her phone number in my little small little notebook, cute notebook that I wrote down. And then she hugged me and cried. And then it was just nice that my father was like, approaching and was trying to bring me back from school. And he was like, "Boy, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, nothing, nothing." So yeah, those were the days. And yeah, so we moved to Pasir Ris eventually. That was another school story. And by the time I was already in my between the ages of 8 to 10, yeah, before the divorce, and that was also a period of intense attack by the demons. But on one hand, when you're being attacked by these things, on the other hand, you see that there is something more powerful than these things, and he's watching over you, he's protecting you, and you feel peace, you feel gratitude, you feel like that all hope is not lost. So it's at this point that I want to tell all of you viewers that yes, religion is man-made. Okay, let's just face the facts. It's like how the Israelites made the golden calf last time. Okay, they need to see something. They need to see a visual. Okay, to be able to relate it to God because they can't see God, and that's the flaw of humans. We are very visual creatures. You see, so whatever religion you are in, okay, the fact of the matter is that it's man-made. You can't run away from the fact, but the thing that it can never be taken away from you, okay, is God, your relationship with God. A church can kick you out, excommunicate you, okay, if you don't want to follow its procedures, their protocol, their policies, but the thing that can never be taken away from you is your relationship with God. And that's what matters. That's what's the most important. And once you have that, okay, that kind of power, that kind of um, yeah, guidance from him, you don't need anything else, frankly. There's nothing that man can offer to you. So I was very privileged and great, and I feel very grateful to be able to experience this running the demons. Although I don't welcome it. If you give me a choice, I'd rather not face it. But facing this has brought me very close to God. It shows me that there is a higher power out there. And he cares for you. He's powerful. He can and he will protect you if you trust him. If you make him your God, if you have faith in him, okay, if you do what is right in his eyes, he will never forsake you. He will never leave you. And that was the lesson I learned when I was a boy. Even until now, okay, I'm still facing those things sometimes, once in a while. Now it's more sophisticated. That one will come to it later. Yeah, so basically, when I was in the faith, yeah, I was already facing all this stuff already. And when the funny thing is that when my mother brought me to the meetings and stuff like that, she would tell the elders, oh, uh, uh, my son is going through all these things. How? Why is he going through all these things? How can we stop it? And stuff like that. And then they will tell her, Have you brought him to a psychiatrist? Maybe he has some mental illness, stuff like that. So my mother didn't feel comfortable going to them again with these attacks because they didn't believe her. And yeah, that also shows the shallowness and the narrow thinking, the closed vision of people in Jehovah's Witnesses, because they are very their vision is only very two-dimensional. Okay, I will even go as far as saying that it's one-dimensional, because whatever they can't see, okay, or whatever they have not experienced before, they just discount it and they judge people very quickly. So that's the kind of environment and the kind of religion that we were brought up in. And I remembered the fond memories I had when I was a kid of attending meetings was that I had a lot of people showering me with affection and stuff like that, because as a kid you're young and you're cute, so people tend to take notice of you and they tend to shower you with lots of love and attention. So that was something that motivated me to go to the meetings. And I feel kind of sad because looking back, every kid that was raised in the religion, how many of us can say that we were there because we wanted to worship God and we think that it's the right thing to do? Because as kids, you don't think of all these things. You don't comprehend such things. You go there because your parents tell you to go. You don't go is the rod for you, the cane. Or if you don't go, something will be taken away from you. And the only positive thing that I can recall of my time there was the affection, the love that was shown to me, and that was it. So, but this is not to say, of course, that I regret what has happened to me. I think that everything happens for a reason, and if God feels that you should go through this thing, there must be a reason for you somewhere in the future, and I'm actually seeing it now in my life. So, that was my childhood in the Jehovah's Witness faith. You are being conditioned, you are being trained to think how the organization wants you to think, to react how the organization wants you to react, not because you love God or not because this is something what you want to do. It almost becomes a reflex. It's like when somebody puts his hand at high speed to your eye, you close your eyes. So it becomes trained and instilled into you. So this is the kind of indoctrination and brainwashing that every witness kid would be subject to. Yes, so that was mostly part of my years growing up as a witness kid. Yeah, so coming back to the demon attacks again, the demon attacks that I faced was they escalated, because at the time also I was not saying the pledge. Me and my sister, we decided to say the pledge. So what happened was our primary school principal hated us so much, and she made a special platform for us to put at the side of the assembly hall. So every flag raising ceremony, me and my sister would stand there. So this was designed to actually break our faith, make us cave in to actually say the pledge. Yeah, but each time we refused, you can tell that she was very disturbed, and I think to a certain extent we were doing the right thing, because the demons were very angry, so they attacked me at night, me and my sister, but mostly me. Attacked me almost every other night, and I would either wake up crying, praying to God, or crying for my mother and stuff like that. So some of the attacks they would do to me was they would throw me off the bed, okay? They would tickle my legs at night. They would pinch me, they'll punch me, they'll slap me. Yeah, they will pull my hair, stuff like that. And these things were real because when I woke up, sometimes you can see the marks on your body, the bruises, and yeah, you remember what happened the night before. And then each time they do that, my mother would say, okay, each time they do that, wake me up, pray together. So God became very real to me back then. He is even more real to me now. Yes. So but then when I reached about 10 or 11 years old, their attacks start to evolve. Okay. So they were not just content in physical attacks anymore. They were moved into the psychic attacks. And what do I mean by psychic attacks? So I don't know if some of you have experienced this, but sometimes before you drift into sleep, you will be thinking about an imaginary scenario that you want to happen. Like for me, last time I was a Star Trek fan. I still am a Star Trek fan. So I always woke up at 12:45 p.m. to watch The Next Generation. That was every Wednesday, I remember, 12:45 p.m. 8 a.m. Sorry, 8 a.m. So, but they didn't attack me then. They would attack me on other days. So, like before I drift to sleep, okay, what happened was they would what should I say? Okay, so I would just think of a scenario, like example, I'm on the Enterprise, and then I am commanding the Starship Enterprise to explore the galaxy, something like that. And then suddenly there's they will put another vision to override this scenario that I'm thinking of. And before they come, okay, you feel a tingling sensation throughout your whole body. It's like alarm bells ringing everywhere that they are coming. And then before you can get up, and before you can get out of this dream, okay, they will press you down mentally, of course, and then they'll force you to see what they want you to see. Sometimes it's in the form of a vision, like you die in a car accident or something like that, or they will just shout in your ears, which they did to me. They shouted in my ears. Okay, they shouted in my ears. Very angry. Okay, and I was so terrified. I was so traumatized because I couldn't move. Okay, I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I was locked there. I was at their mercy. They were screaming at me, and I couldn't do anything. All I could do was to call God's name in my heart. And then it took a while for me to be released from this hole. Okay, so this is the kind of demon attacks that I was facing at the point of time. And then of course, no use going to the elders because the elders says that you are mentally unwell. So they say that if you are serving God, okay, you are serving God and you are protected by Him, you won't get these attacks. But what they failed to realize was that even God's Son, Jesus Christ, when He was on earth, He was attacked too by demons. He was attacked by Satan himself, tested in the wilderness, okay, and of course He was persecuted by His own people, and these people were undoubtedly instigated or moved to do so by Satan. So as you can expect, being a Jehovah's Witness, being raised Jehovah's Witness, and especially being attacked by these demons, okay, it's not something fun. It can be quite lonely at times. Yeah. So of course I used to have fun with my friends also. I used to have fun with my friends in school. Okay. And my mother would always chastise me and say, bad association spoils useful habits, that kind of scriptures thing. And she would try to limit my involvement with my school friends. And yeah, as such I was bound to the religion. Yeah. So this is actually a typical cult control tactic. They make you dependent on them for emotional support, mental support, spiritual support, and social support. And then you are so dependent that whenever you want to pull the plug or you want to get out of that thing, okay, you think twice because you're actually tearing a part of your life away. So sadly, this is something that every witness kid has had to go through, and that was something that I went through as a young one, growing up in a highly controlling and abusive religion. So they were actually abusing us emotionally and mentally, but they were just disguising it as, oh, it's for your own good. It's actually yeah what God wants you to do. So yeah, that was pretty much what we went through as we were kids. So of course the time came where my mother had enough. I think she was also very repressed. She was suffering actually inside there, trying to be that person that the organization paints, okay, that you should be a model Jehovah's Witness, a model servant of God. Yeah. So she couldn't live up to the expectations anymore. She was suffering from depression, and she was suffering from neglect from my father as well, because my father only knew how to work. He had no control over his life because he had to feed 2 kids and a wife. So she turned to outside for emotional support, and she broke their laws. Okay, so basically that ended in divorce, and of course she didn't want to take custody of us, so she gave custody to my father, and so my father was stuck with two kids. It was a crazy time, and they were also running with demons during the time of the divorce. And what happened was actually we were being taken to all the social support services instituted by the government, like Wisma Mendaki, Sinda, stuff like that. We were running around, Salvation Army, Women's Shelter. We were running around the country because my mother claims that my father, didn't want to look after us. My father has another woman, so we need to run around to those welfare shelters. And it was during this stay at these places that we had encountered demons, to me and my sister. We could hear talking at night, we could hear sounds at night, and we know that the place had nobody staying there. It was like a deserted place, part of a dormitory for the use for storage and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty scary going through all those things, and then looking back, yeah, we know that there's the demons are behind it, and it's a tug of war battle, basically. Yeah, between good and evil. So I mean, for those of you who have been through this kind of paranormal experiences, you probably know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who have not, then count your lucky stars, because it's a blessing. It's a blessing for you not to go through these things. Okay, it's not something fun. It's not something it's not something exciting. It's not something that you look forward to on a typical Sunday or something. So it's good that you don't go through this, but maybe you have your own torture stick. You have your own trials to go through. So yeah, I mean, all of us have our own problems, but the most important thing is that we don't lose faith, because the moment we lose faith, okay, the devil wins. It's that simple. Okay, so yeah, basically this is my childhood growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. And I remember also that at that time it was very hot to, Power Rangers, Go Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was a very hot thing to do and to watch when you were a kid. So my mother would say, "No, God hates violence," stuff like that, and she would just take those things away. And yeah, it was a very sad childhood because we couldn't play the toys that we want to play if it relates to anything to what God hates, stuff like that. I'm not saying that it's bad, but when you are raised in such a such an environment, you become very restricted and suffocated, and probably stunts your development a bit. So, I mean, if you have kids if you are a Jehovah's Witness watching this, you probably know what I'm saying. And this is not the way to bring your kids up. Okay, I don't think this is the way that God wants you to train your children up. God doesn't want you to control them. Okay, not doesn't want you to inflict punishment on them if they don't do what the society says. I don't think that's what God wants. He doesn't want mindless robots, okay, that are programmed to worship Him. He wants people who do so out of their heart, out of the free will, and who, based on their relationship and their love for Him, okay, make that conscientious choice, okay, to either do or don't do something. I think that's what He wants, okay? And yeah, so basically that's my experience growing up as a Jehovah's Witness teen. A kid. And yeah, after the divorce, things became very okay, I would say progressive, but there were ups and downs also, because family was trying to learn to cope with the divorce. And I remember making a lot of good friends, okay? It's one of my good friend that I met, his name is Gerald, okay? And I call him Fifi Rama. I think you know who you are, talking about you. So he also played a big part in my life. And we were best of friends, in the religion. But he left at about 12 years old. I think when he was about 12, 13, he realized that this wasn't for him, that something was very wrong. He couldn't put a finger to it, and he told me, one day he's not attending anymore and stuff like that. And of course I was sad. I was like, why are you not attending? Yeah, this is the true religion, stuff like that. So at that age, you can see the indoctrination. And I was trying to convince him to come back, stuff like that. And then my sister also was having problems. My sister didn't want to be in that religion anymore, because I think she could feel that something was wrong also, and that she didn't like that they were using love as a emotional tool, weapon. So yeah, that was pretty much growing up as a witness kid, between the ages of 0 to 12, I would say. That's my life. And this best friend I had, Gerald, yeah, we used to do everything together, catch worms, use magnifying glass to burn ants, stuff like boys do, stuff that boys do. So yeah, pretty interesting childhood aside from the indoctrination. It was also during that period of time when I was 11 years old, I met my future Bible study conductor. I would call him Uncle J. Okay. I think for safety reasons, I wouldn't want to reveal his true name, but yeah, we will call him Uncle J. So Uncle J was like a father and a mother to me. He was like a surrogate parent, and he would drive by to my house, talk to me, to encourage me, to hear about my feelings, because sometimes I would just cry for no reason. Because even though at such a young age, I was aware that my father and my mother were having problems, and I think I was quite affected by it, more than I would like to admit, more than I can remember even. So Uncle J would come, he would encourage me, and he would basically be a father and a mother to me. And he would listen to my feelings, he would talk to me, he would say, okay, yeah, it's normal to feel this way, I know what you're going through. I don't know what you're going through because I never went through it, but I know God knows what you're going through, and stuff like that. So you can also say that it was also I felt some love, from God. It's like God sending somebody to tell me, hey, don't worry, I'm here. And I have many people at my disposal, okay, to take care of you. And for a period of time it worked out that way. Yeah. And I remember also Uncle Jay buying food for me. And sometimes because my parents they were fighting, court cases and that kind of thing. So they didn't have proper meals, so he would bring food for me. And yeah, I felt God's love at a young age. So yeah, I just want to say at this point that whatever your circumstances, okay, there is always a way out. There is always a point of time where God knows that enough is enough, and He will send somebody, or He will maneuver the circumstances, okay, to actually make a way out. That's actually what Corinthians say. God is righteous. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. And along with the trials, He will make a way out for you. And at a tender young age, it was my privilege to be able to do that. And I'm sure many of you have also been through this before. Yeah. So yeah. And then what do you want to say? I forgot. Yeah, so that was growing up as the Jehovah's Witness and being taught that affection, okay, affection and love must accompany meeting attendance, okay. That's the thing that I want to bring up. So that was very horrible because yeah, I was always drilled, by my uncles and by Uncle Jay. Well, after my mother left, that you have to come to meeting, stuff like that. Jehovah won't love you. You have to come, then you'll be a good boy, stuff like that. So that's the sad thing about being a Jehovah's Witness, and I think that is something very fundamentally wrong with religions of the day, where knowingly or unknowingly, religious leaders or the parents bringing up the child in the doctrine would equate love, okay, to attendance at a religious organization. Now that's not correct, because love is love. It has to stand by itself, okay? It's something, a sacred bond between the parent and child. It should never ever be used as a weapon. Never. Okay? Be used as a weapon for any religious agenda. And I think that what the witnesses are doing is wrong. Okay? So I hope, parents, any of you parents who are watching this, and you are a Jehovah's Witness parent, you will not put your child through this, okay? Because this is not right. This is not what God wants you to do. Yes, bring up your child in His ways. Teach them His ways. Let them make their choice. Don't force it upon them. God doesn't want robots. He doesn't want servants with knives at their throats. Okay? He wants willing, happy, healthy servants. Okay? He doesn't want service out of compulsion. But that's what Scripture says. So God loves a cheerful giver. And so let your children make the choice. Don't put them through what me and my sister went through, and what many thousands of witness kids are going through. Because this kind of thing doesn't last, If it's done out of compulsion, if it's done out of fear, it doesn't last. Because once they grow up, when the fear is gone, they are gone. They are no longer there. The cane doesn't scare them anymore. Removal of things doesn't scare them anymore. So don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, let them grow, let them explore, let them be who they want to be. You can be at the side guiding them, okay, giving them the words of wisdom from God's word, reminding them of God's ways, okay, being that that role model figure, but don't force them. Don't don't use love as a weapon to hold them hostage, to make them serve a human organization, because that's not what God wants. Okay, they're precious gifts from God that need to be nurtured, and that is why I'm never going back there again, because I have a daughter now, a 9-month-old daughter, and I love the moment she was born. Okay, I can tell you that I told myself that I'm going to give her unconditional love. I'm going to love this girl, okay, unconditionally. I'm never going to do what they did to me when I was a kid, okay, to keep me in the religion. Although it worked out well, I did develop a very close relationship with God, but it doesn't mean that it will work for every kid, you see. I'm never going to do that to my daughter. I'm never going to put her through the pain and the horror of what I went through when I was a kid. So that's the part I want to highlight also about what's wrong with this doctrine, okay? The way that Jehovah's Witnesses are handling the children. I think that has to change. Yeah, other than that, it was mostly pleasant memories as a kid. Yeah, because as a kid you don't really know much. So yeah, that's my life for when I was age 1 to 12. Just to give you a brief breakdown. Of course, there's a lot more when I turned 13. 13 all the way to 22 when I left. And that will be covered in another video because that was going to be too long. Yeah, but I'm really happy to be able to share all this with you. It is very personal. But it is something that, memories that I remember. And I cherish. But also lessons to be learned, okay, from my childhood. So if you are a Jehovah's Witness parent, you are inside the faith now, and you are thinking, should I stay in that organization? Should I leave? Should I actually should I actually continue, okay, in the organization? Should I what should I do if I leave? I'm afraid if I leave, I made the wrong choice or something. You may have your doubts. You may even be waking up really like me. I already woke up a long time ago, but you may be in the process of waking up and you're not sure what to do. I want you to read this scripture. Okay? If you have a Bible with me, turn to the scripture. Hold on, let me find it online. Okay? I want you to turn to Psalm chapter 34, verse 18. Verse 18 to 20. Let me see. It says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. He protects all his bones, not one of them will be broken." What a beautiful scripture, you see. So if you notice, the scripture doesn't say the Lord is with any Jehovah's Witness who is brokenhearted, or the Lord is with any Muslim or any Buddhist, any Sikh, any Hindu that is brokenhearted. He is with anybody that is righteous, that is brokenhearted and calls God. His criteria is simple. You just need to be righteous inside. A righteous person seeks God. A righteous person has faith in God. A righteous person does what is right as far as possible in his life. Okay, so take comfort that you do not need to be under any banner for God to be with you. You do not need to serve a church or temple. You do not need to be part of any human-made organization in order to receive His help, His blessings, and His protection. That is the beauty of the God that we worship. So whatever form of God you may be worshiping, this is something that I would like to share with you. And I hope that this scripture has comforted you, and that my experience, first part of my experience, has actually shed some light on the kind of horrors that I face as a kid, not only from paranormal forces, but also from the religion itself, the indoctrination, the emotional hostage taking. So I hope that it is my wish that no other child or young one will be put through this, and I really hope that, I pray to God in fact every day that my friends and my family who are still in the religion will wake up and get out of there one day. Get out of the grid. So if you're watching this video, know that I still love you guys a lot, and I have never left God. In fact, I have been even closer to God after I have left. So just very thankful to be able to share this with you after so many years, and I hope that this video has helped. And so I'll be continuing the next part of my story in another video, when I have the time, probably hopefully soon. And this will be covering the times of when I was 13 years old all the way to when I was about 20 years old, before I went to detention barracks. My life story is very long, so I hope that each part that I cover with you, there's something beneficial that can help you in your situation. To see that there is a God. He is very powerful. He is very loving. He is very wonderful. He works in ways which we don't understand sometimes. And he takes you out of your pit, so to speak, the pit that you are in. Takes you out of the pit that you are in when you least expect it, and in the most wonderful way possible. So praise be to Yehovah and to the Most High God for keeping me alive. And I think it's my obligation to share this with the world. I cannot just keep silent on the wonderful things of God. So he delivered me from the demon. He protected me from there, even though sometimes there was delay. And delay is normal, because Daniel, when he was Gabriel was supposed to be sent to encourage him and to reveal to him things, but Gabriel was delayed by the Prince of Persia and the Prince of Greece. So it was only when Michael the Archangel came and helped Gabriel that Gabriel was able to come to Daniel 21 days later. So I think having to wait 5 or 10 minutes for God's angels to release me from demonic grip, I think that's a good deal compared to what Daniel faced. 21 days alone in a dark garden, poor guy. So all of you out there who are going through problems, you are facing whatever situation that you're facing, you may feel that it's hopeless. It is hopeless, there's no way out, you're on your own. Life is so bleak. I want you to go tonight, before you sleep, say a prayer to God. Tell him how you are feeling. Tell him what you need from him. Tell him the help that you need, and say the prayer through Jesus' name, because Jesus is the only way, mediator. I want you to do that, and I want you to read Bible accounts of Job. I want you to read all the prophets that face persecution, and draw strength from these accounts. And yes, God is near to anyone who calls upon him. You don't have to be under any banner. Okay? You don't have to be. It doesn't look at your skin color. It doesn't look at how much you earn every month. It doesn't look at your intelligence level, your education level. It doesn't look at your face. You know, are you handsome? Are you pretty? Are you ugly? Are you stuff like deformed? He looks at your heart, and if your heart is right toward him, if your heart has faith, if you believe that he's the only true God, he can deliver you out of it. He will help you. He will help you. He knows what we need even before we ask him. So this is part 1 of my life story, age 0 to 12. I hope it has helped you. Yes, so yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back for more videos, hopefully, and more scriptures to share, more experiences to share, how God delivered me from the demons, how he saved me from my troubles, how he's even doing that even now, and how you can benefit from it too. And after that I'll be looking at more detail the GW doctrines, the GW teachings, why they are not God's organization, why you should be investigating them even more so now, why you should be making sure that you are in the correct place, okay, and eventually why you should be leaving that place. I don't force this on you, okay, and I don't want to force my views on you, because you may be in a stage now whereby you are fiercely protective of the organization, saying that this has to be God's organization. Very, very angry if someone comes and tell you otherwise. But I want you to just think about what I've just shared with you for today, and just think about God's unconditional love, okay, and compare it to them, to their love, which is conditional. You just need to think about this and see if this is God's way. What they are doing, is it God's way? And that could probably be a start to help you to start to change your mind. And focus more on God, okay? Focus more on his love, his unconditional love, and his power on behalf of those who are in need. That's all I want to do for tonight. Right, so it was my pleasure to share with you, and I'll see you again soon. And may Yehovah, the only true God, be with you in your times of need and trouble, and may you go to him, and may you experience his loving hand and protection. Alright, good night everybody.